fabulous Samurai Dan and Jillian.
Having to follow a marriage proposal. How do you follow that? I mean, obviously, other than the honeymoon night. But I would have to say now, whoa.
It's Jesus speaking. And you've all been very naughty.
And it's early on Saturday night. I would have to say, based on the last 2 weeks and all the marriage proposals, screw chemistry.com. If you want to find love, come to an anime convention. Oh yeah, find the man of your dreams. Or the woman. Or the tentacle monster. Whatever works. We are here to do a samurai exhibition. We're going to teach you everything you need to know about swordsmanship. But I was thinking Dee's been doing such a wonderful job on stage tonight that maybe we would make her part of our show. So this is what we're going to do, Dee. I brought this out for you. It's an apple. You can pretend it's Original Sin. And what we're going to do is we're going to reenact the William Tell story, samurai style. So you're going to take this, and I want you to put it on your head. Just put your finger on top, like a placeholder for a field goal. Yeah, perfect. All right, okay. Don't move. My wife is going to cover my eyes, and they're going to count to 3 in Japanese. We're going to go each, ni, san, and then I'm going to draw the sword and cut the apple right off your head.
What? You're most certainly going to not.
You're right. The angle's a little bit off. Come stand right here. Let's make this a little bit more representative. Go ahead and hold that there. And let's give me a better angle of attack. Why don't you just go ahead and kneel? Oh, no! Not that kind of sword show. Shame on you. Why don't you just put that in your mouth? Really? All right, you guys are either the most dirty-minded group of people on the planet or we're an anime convention.
It's because it's me. I make everything dirty. It's true.
No. We're going to do this anyway.
Wait, no, we are not. Come back here.
You said it was okay.
No!
Here.
I was going to hit him with a sword.
No. See, this show is about me chasing you with a sword. That's what they came to see.
I hate you guys. So really, that's what you think we're going to do? You're going to swing it? You're going to hit me with a sword for their amusement?
Yeah.
All right, fine. My pimp always said the customer is always... my daddy always said, the customer, hey, don't react like that. This isn't Arkansas. That's not the same person. And now that I've managed to offend half of the people in the room, the other half will be angry as soon as you figure out I was talking about you. No. This is where I point out that I'm heavily armed and I have poor impulse control. So be nice to me. I want to teach you what you need to know about sword combat and what to do if somebody attacks you with a sword. And before you go, hey, excuse me, Mr. Too Old Living in the Past, I don't need to know that because in today's world, I'm not going to be attacked by a sword. That's not going to happen. This is where I interrupt you in your little tirade and say, hey, take a good look around at where you are this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're an anime con. Do you know what that means? That means you are surrounded by anonymous people in costume, heavily armed, with poor impulse control.
Yeah.
If you ever needed to know this skill, it's now. And that's because if someone just randomly jumps out from behind a corner and swings a 3-foot sharpened right... Really? Are you sure you know how to use that thing?
The pointy end goes in you, right?
Not tonight it doesn't, dear. what's going to happen. She's going to swing. I'm going to show you, without training, this is what the average human response is to somebody attacking you with a sword. Hey, don't kill me! The flinch response, which is one step up from the fetal position. And just so we're clear, not only was the fetal position of no use on the battlefield, it will not help you in your relationship. Wow. Yes, I do. I've been happily married, well, mostly happily married for, I'm still alive. And that would bring me to the next part. If someone does attack you with a sword, you should train a little bit. And this is our shout out to the greatest movie of all time. The Karate Kid! Oh yeah, did you like that pose? We have friends who have computer knowledge and they photoshopped a velociraptor in the middle of us, like this, and sent it to our Facebook page. And people wanted to know who the new cute member of our group was. But if you take karate or taekwondo classes, and I'm all for that, but that really cool overhead block you learn in class that's in the Karate Kid was never intended to be used against a 3-foot sharpened razor blade. Some psychotic blonde maniac attacks you with a sword, and your brilliant idea is to go,
Hey, wax on!
arm off.
I win!
Because that sword was designed to go entirely through the human body. You throwing your arm out is not going to work. That's the sort of move you can only do once.
Yep.
Well, twice.
Really?
Oh yeah! Hey, yeah!
Dear, we consider that one a Darwin Award.
Can we talk about Darwin here?
Yeah, we're not in Kansas.
Oh, you laugh. We did a Renaissance festival in Kansas, and I was being me, which means I was opening my mouth and saying stupid things. And this woman who's sitting actually right where you are, the Black Ranger, this woman got mad at me. And have you ever had your mom get mad at you? If you're not raising your hand, you're either orphaned or lying. This woman got mad just like your mom does. It goes in stages. The first stage is this. The blank look.
Yeah.
Second stage is this. Third. And when the hand comes forward, you've had it. This woman did the whole routine right during my show, and finally she interrupted. Not just a little heckle word here or there that's fun to play along with. She started screaming at me during our stage presentation. And she said, young man! Young, really? Just, do you know where you are? And I'm like, I'm on stage. And she goes, you're in Kansas, do you know what that means? And I went, got it! We'll talk slower. So, after the first couple Darwin Award winners get weeded out of the gene pool at our anime convention, you're gonna learn the same thing the samurai knew. If someone takes a 3-foot sharpened razor blade and swings it violently at your head, the best thing you can do is move! Well, I didn't say it was rocket science, but the attack comes in, you get your body out of the way.
Yeah.
All the way out of the way. And as long as your body and the sword do not occupy, that's enough. Stop it!
Where are you going?
I'm gonna sit by her.
Get back here!
No. This is safer. If nothing else, you can be human shields.
Get back up here!
No, look, the whole point of the show, it's supposed to be educational entertainment. So I explain the concept, we demonstrate the concept. I say, hey, somebody attacks you with a sword, move! But after 2 or 3 times, even the slowest person in this room understands my point. You just kept attacking me, trying to hit me with a sword. That's not education, that's abuse. And I didn't sign on for abuse.
Yes, you did. You married me.
No.
All right, fine. Will you continue with the show if you get to play with your sword?
Yeah, I love playing with my sword. This one! Man, you guys are, oh, I forgot where I was. Yeah! Sword combat! Really, you're gonna applaud that? Your expectations for our show are that low now? Who said yes? Do you know what? Yeah, one person raised their hand. That was a chorus. Do you know why you shouldn't applaud? This is not sword combat. This is not two people fighting to the death. If we swing and miss, doesn't matter. We're not going to hit each other. And that's not combat on the battlefield. Nope. That's not even a fight at my house on Friday night. Because when she gets angry at you, and she will, there's nothing you can do about it. That frying pan is not... Did anybody see Tangled? Frying pans, who knew? I almost started teaching that instead. That frying pan's not going over there. It's not going over there. It's going right down Broadway, because on a non-blonde, that's a lethal injury.
Coming down Broadway now, dear.
Which brings me to my next point. If someone attacks you with a 3-foot sharpened razor blade and you have a sword too, don't die! I want you to see this. 22 years have gone into this next amazing move. Bad guy attacks you with a sword. You see this? I call it blocking. Now see, somebody was going to take my picture and they realized that wasn't really clever after all. Welcome to my world. The way blocking works, bad guy attacks you with a sword. You take your sword and you put it between their sword and your face, thus preserving this. Yeah, I know, why bother, right? Thanks.
Dear, you're forgetting part of this again.
No. I got the sword in the right place, right time. I even put it in front of I put it behind my head once. It didn't work very well. And that's why I look like this.
You left part out.
Right, I should have rolled up the sleeve and shown off the gun. Looks like Arnold, right? No.
You know, dear, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words.
It's on the internet.
And these guys have decided you talk too much already, so you do your cool move thing again, and we'll see if they can figure out what you forgot.
Sure.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, hit me back.
You got it, but... All right, this sucks.
Yep.
And not in a good way.
What? Dear, do you remember that part we talked about earlier in the show where if someone swings a sword violently at your head, you should...
Look at it because it's shiny.
It is shiny.
Yeah, that's it.
Look at it because it's shiny!
What are you laughing at? That worked! Do you know why it worked? How many of you ever heard of a term called ADD and ADN? Oh, who am I kidding? We're in Mechacon. We coined that phrase. We learned a new term about 6 months ago. It's called ADOS, and what it stands for is Attention Deficit... Oh, shiny! And I want you to know my life is loaded with this disease.
Excuse me?
That sounded worse than I meant it.
You know what? I know these guys were paying better attention than you were. If someone swings a sword violently at your head, you should.
How'd you guys know we're from Iowa? That's like a mating call where we're from.
What is wrong with you?
It gets cold in Iowa. I have problems with words with a V in them.
Get out of the way. Remember that part?
Yeah, that's when I went and sat by her.
Yes.
I can do that.
No. Look, you have to do your cool block thing.
Okay, so I'm gonna block and then I'm gonna go sit by her.
No. You're gonna block and move at the same time.
I can't do that.
It's only 2 things.
It's impossible. I cannot do 2 things at once. I'm a man. Oh yeah, you like that one.
All right, fine. You swing your sword at me. I'll show these awesome otaku how this works.
I think I kind of like that part too. I get to swing my sword at you in public. Yeah.
All right. You swing, I block,
Yeah,
and
blah,
move.
blah, blah, whatever, but I get to hit you with a sword.
Go for it.
Bye. Hey!
Yeah, I win.
That didn't work the way I thought it would.
Do you want to try again, dear?
Yes, dear, I'm much better the second time. Oh, like you've never used that line before. You know the fun part? There's girls all over this auditorium laughing. You've heard that line before, haven't you? Well, it's probably a lie this time, too. Once more.
Go ahead.
Ah!
Oh, I still win.
So basically, no matter what I do, you win.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot like our relationship. One more time.
Okay.
Because I'm slow. I mean, an optimist. No!
Hey!
No! Stop it! You know what? I quit.
What?
I'm not doing this anymore.
You can't quit.
This is not the script I wrote. Every time I attack, you win.
Yeah.
And I get my head chopped off.
Uh-huh.
This was badly written. I demand to know who wrote this part of our show.
I did.
No, you didn't. Do you know how I know you didn't write this part of the show? There were no crayon marks on my script.
Oh yeah, Mr. Big Shot, that's because you ate the crayons last night.
Is that what that was?
Uh-huh.
I thought you were cooking again. It's okay. Dinner last night was better than normal. In fact, I was going to ask to see if we could have the same thing tonight, too.
Dinner's on you tonight.
Ooh, that could be...
No! That's it. It's time to end the show.
I get to finish?
What?
Oh, maybe this is a good time for our disclaimer. Parents, if your children understand that this level of innuendo in our program, you're bad parents. All right, this is the part of the show where we need audience participation. It is Saturday night and it's time to sacrifice a virgin.
What? Volunteer!
Right, I'm sorry. I told you I had problems with words that start with a V. Oh, you laughed. We were on stage once, and you know, they had the hanging mics that bend inwards, so you don't have to be mic'd. So I'm up on stage going, I have problems with words that start with a V, and there was a college girl sat in the very front, and she actually said the word that every one of you were thinking, and the mics picked it up and put it out on the speakers. That was wonderful to explain to my mother. I saw her!
Time for a volunteer.
I need a volunteer. You know what is really funny? When I said, we're going to sacrifice a virgin, half of the girls that had their hands up put their hands down and then realized what you just admitted to and put your hands back up. Too late. Your parents saw you. So, we need a helper. We go with that. There's an alpaca? Really? No, we're not going to sacrifice an alpaca. Even one with pink glasses. Let's take the blonde girl from the front row. Because she raised her hand and then she started hiding. I like that part. Let's bring you up this way. Carefully, of course. Nice. What's your name?
Amy.
Amy. Everybody say hi, Amy.
Hi!
Now everybody wave and say bye, Amy. All right, this part of the show, the conclusion of our samurai show on why to avoid getting hit by a sword, we're going to demonstrate what a sword actually does when it hits the human body.
Oh no.
Hi, Amy. The samurai called this practice Tamishigiri, means test cutting. And for a brief time in Japan, the practice was called Tsujigiri, which meant peasant cutting. And it means just what you think it means. For 10 years, it was legal for the samurai to cut down peasants just to see if their toys were sharp. So, Amy, do you see the stand? Do you see the spike on top of it? Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to climb up on the stand and I want you to sit